Good evening. Welcome to our Plexus Leaders Launch. This is Vicki Drobnes, and I'm Senior Gold Ambassador with Plexus Worldwide. And we have a few people joining us, and hopefully a few people will be able to watch this later. We are going to talk, this is more, whenever I do the Leaders Launch type presentations, I do those more as a way of, with some business tips, but also some mindset tips, because as I have the slide in here, 99% of this business is right up here. And that's very key. And so that's what I've put together for you tonight, is some ideas that actually were inspired by my minister over the past couple of Sundays. And I did check with Dr. Mitch to make sure it was okay. I borrowed some of his ideas. And so thank you, Dr. Mitch, if you happen to be watching, for sharing some of your ideas, because they really were very helpful to what I think we can do with this business, as well as just generally in our lives. So I'm going to share the screen here and make sure that we've got that up and going. And then click over here. Come on. There we go. Okay. So I want to talk with you tonight about launching yourself into the future, and to realize that that's more than just saying, okay, I've got a business. There's a mindset that has to go with that. So one of the things that I really liked about this quote by T.S. Eliot, and I've thrown in a few quotes in here, former English teacher, it just comes to me. Only those who risk going too far can find out how far they can go. And most people, whenever they start this business, think, you know, I'm just going to share with a few friends or whatever. And some of those people who have done phenomenally well with our business have been those types of people who have just started just to see, you know, I'll just get my products paid for. So we want you to see that there's more than that. And getting your products paid for is, you know, a very laudable goal and makes it very easy to do. But we want you to know that there's a little bit more to it than just that. So, of course, before we get started, there's always a disclosure. So just a brief paraphrasing, you can read this on the screen, but we are independent Plexus ambassadors, and this is not sponsored by Plexus Worldwide. We do not claim to cure, treat, prevent, or any disease, and take no responsibility for any actions taken by any viewer. And also the earnings of ambassadors are not representative of the income, if any, an ambassador can or will earn through the Plexus Compensation Plan. And there's a whole bunch of things like skill set, work effort, and a desire to succeed that really tie into that. And we're going to talk a little bit about those tonight. Any inspirational testimonies and tips should not be considered medical or financial advice and are not representative of Plexus Worldwide. And they are tips, inspiration, and motivation to you based solely on the personal results or opinions of participants. So now that we've gotten that out of the way, this is a quote that my minister, Dr. Mitch, shared with us this past week, talking about from Stephen Covey, who has written the oh gosh, I just drew a blank on the name of the book. Oops, sorry, it'll come back to me. But the Habits of Highly Successful People. And I may not have the exact title right, but you can certainly Google that. Stephen Covey, very phenomenal, inspirational writer. Private victories precede public victories. Making and keeping promises to ourselves precedes making and keeping promises to others. And it is futile to put personality ahead of character, to try to improve relationships with others before improving ourselves. And this business is entirely representative of that. We've often referred to network marketing as personal development with a compensation plan, is that you kind of get paid to learn how to grow. In this past week, Dr. Mitch shared some ideas about the 5 traits of successful people. And this has come from a study that was done at Harvard many years ago. Successful people have a zest or a zeal, and I'm not talking about like the soap zest, but have this enthusiasm, what they really want to get involved with things and with people. And that's very key. It's your passion for Plexus will come through in so many different ways, by both your postings, by your talking with people, and building relationships with people. They can't help but catch on that you're passionate about Plexus. They also have, successful people also have open-heartedness, and this means both givers and receivers. You need to be both ways in order to be successful, because because both, by being most of us think about being open-hearted as being givers, but you've got to be able to receive because it blesses that person who's trying to help you to be able to give. You're giving them a blessing by them being able to help you and by you receiving it. So when somebody gives you a compliment, say thank you. And don't try and downplay yourself and say, oh, well, it was nothing. It was nothing. Just receive it in the spirit in which it is meant, is they are excited for you. And also be open to receiving those gifts that come along that you don't expect just because they don't show up the way you think they should. Another thing that successful people have is curiosity. And that probably is one thing that brought you to Plexus, is your curiosity about, okay, I've heard about this, I've seen some testimonials, how does this work? And that curiosity, it translates over into life. We are lifelong learners, and we should be. As I said before, I used to be a high school English teacher, and I strongly encourage my students to believe that they are going to be learning all throughout their lives. It does not end the day that they graduate high school, or hopefully it doesn't end the day they graduate high school, because as long as you are living, you should be learning. They practice deliberate gratitude, and that is being thankful every single day. And that could be from being thankful for the meal, saying a blessing before your meal, to being thankful that, okay, you got a great parking space, but being thankful for every little thing. And that even includes some of the so-called bad things, the things that you kind of wish hadn't happened. Because there's always a lesson in that. And sometimes that lesson is simply patience, or understanding that there may be something else out there for you. But practice that deliberate gratitude. Be thankful for everything. And then, of course, kindness. Be kind to others. There's a little meme that goes around Facebook all the time that says, you don't know what kind of battle somebody is fighting. And simply giving somebody a smile, a wave, talking to somebody, saying hi in the store can just make somebody's day. And doing that is you're kind, and I even encourage you to do that even when somebody else may not be kind to you, because you're being kind because you're a kind person, not just because they happen not to be. You don't know what they're going through. And being kind doesn't cost you a thing. It doesn't cost anything. This is something that it sounds kind of convoluted, but I will read it slowly so that it comes across. It's not what comes to you, but what comes from you that determines what comes to you. I'll repeat that. It's not what comes to you, but what comes from you that determines what comes to you. And that's where the golden rule, the treating others the way you want to be treated, and not the way you have been treated, but the way you want to be treated, that's where that comes in, it's all what comes from you. Right. This is something that I learned this past Sunday, and I thought it was phenomenal. Think of this, that life is both horizontal and vertical. And the horizontal part is the life that you are living all throughout, the average thing. Okay, you get up in the morning, you do this, you do that, you have this level life experience. Where you want to go is you want to go above that. You want to live above that. You want to ascend and grow. And that is because if you think about it, kind of the human body it looks kind of like a cross. I'm not going to stand up here and do this, because you can see from the picture on the screen there, it looks kind of like a cross. And if you think about the horizontal is the life, and then the spiritual is the vertical, and see where they all intersect? They intersect at the heart. And whenever I heard that, that just meant so much to me, because that's where your life intersects, is this everyday so-called mundane existence that we all seem to have, and then where you get to where you are you are experiencing life in another way. You're seeing the greater potential. You're growing yourself. And I just fell in love with that idea, and that's a symbol that actually predates Christianity. It's a symbol of a cross, and there's so much in there that if you think about that and next time you see a cross, just understand that it's that intersection of the life and the spirit in there. This is a quote from Benjamin Disraeli: "The greatest good you can do for another is not just to share your riches, but to reveal to them their own." And that's a wonderful part of our business model that we have in network marketing, and especially with Plexus, is that you're not there to just share your riches, although there are wonderful examples of many of our jewels who have gone out and helped to create homes for the people in Thailand who have been through horrible sex trafficking issues. There's another ambassador who has decided they're putting their home building on standby because an orphanage in India needed land to grow food for the orphanage. And they put their own desires on standby in order to go help this place. And so you want to be able to share what you've received, but also help others reveal that they've got that in themselves. Everybody has that potential. And as I said before, 99% of this business is exactly between your ears. It's right up here. I have experienced this personally. I thought I knew it all, and I had to learn that there were some old programming tapes that were going along in my head that I had to get over that and understand that that's subconscious there. And that subconscious, I talked about this in our last ambassador training, the subconscious there was there to protect you at some point in your life, be it whenever you were a small child or even something recently. It was there to protect you at that point, but that doesn't mean that it needs to protect you now. You've grown past that. You're stronger than you were before. And you can go past that. And one way you can deal with that is to just say, well, thank you for sharing, that part of you, because it's not trying to get you. It's just trying to help you. It's just to say, thank you for sharing, but I'm choosing to do this now. And I'm choosing to step out of my comfort zone and expand that so that I can go further with my life. One of the great quotes from Les Brown that we heard from him at convention is that it's possible. And so I want you to say that to yourself every day, that your dreams are possible. It's possible. You don't have to say, okay, I'm going to be X rank by X date. It's good to have a goal and to have a date to shoot for it, but to say that it's possible, because that gets your brain thinking in a different way. It gets to thinking into ways that this could happen. And you have to be willing. How much are you willing to trust your vision, to believe that what you want can happen? And a lot of us do that, where we think, oh wow, it'd be great to be driving that Lexus, but I don't know, do I really need a Lexus? I live on a dirt road. Do I really need to be driving a however many $1,000s car down a dirt road every day? Well, yeah, I do want that, and that's okay. And so I want to let you know that it's okay to trust your vision, and that you would not have been given this vision without the capability of doing that. That's just not the way it works. And you have to believe in your dreams more than you believe in your resistance to them. Because that's where, if you have that belief there, that's where the magic starts to happen, is to believe in your dreams more than your resistance to them. This was a quote from Mark 11:24, is, I tell you, you can pray for anything, and if you believe that you've received it, notice past tense, received it, it will be yours. You've got to believe that this has already been granted. And it may not be necessarily in exactly the way, or happened exactly the way you think it's going to, but believe that it's yours. You've got to believe that. And I remember Michelle Thomas talking about being in Hawaii last year, and she finally, after getting there to Emerald and getting to Hawaii, to Maui, she finally had this vision of what it was going to be Diamond. She had not really believed in herself enough that that was going to happen. And she went, that was, September, and she turned Diamond, Nikki, when was it, like March or so? No, May. It was before convention. It was right before convention, so May. And so she believed in that. That's double the amount, or well, no, that's a lot more than the points that you need in order to do that. But she had a vision and believed it and prayed for it and believed that she had received it and it would happen. And so that's very much key into getting, not, I don't want to say getting what you want, but yeah, getting what you want, believing that it can actually happen. Some hindrances to success is, there are 5 of these. There's guilt and feeling unworthy. And that comes from, that again is that protection mechanism where we think, oh, well, you know, it'd be nice if it happened, but, you know, if it doesn't, okay, well, I'm okay with that. I'm all right. And so there, at that root level, that's that feeling of being unworthy. And we are all worthy of having everything that we want. That is the way that we've been created. There's nothing, we can still be of service to each other without having to have all this guilt and feeling unworthy. And the biggest remedy to that is self-love and realizing that you are worthy. Your family wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you. There are people who have relied on you throughout your life, that their lives would be different. Remember the James Stewart movie, It's a Wonderful Life, as he got a glimpse of seeing what his life, what would have happened to the people that he loved had he not been there. And it wasn't a very good story. So your life is crucial to other people. If you're a mother, then, you know, your children wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you. And even if you're a father, your children wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you. So you are valuable, and I want you all to realize that. Every single one of you has some type of gift to give to the world. And the fact that you're still here means that your gift is still in the process of being given to others. That you're not done yet. The fear of the unknown. A lot of people, I don't know how this is going to work out. I don't know how I'm going to do this. The fear of the unknown stops so many people. And that's one thing where it's impossible for you to reach success if you're not willing to move into the new and the unknown. That's where we talk about reaching outside of your comfort zone. And what I like to say is, instead of outside the comfort zone, you expand your comfort zone, because once you do this, then your comfort zone expands and you get more and more and more. If y'all could go back and see last year at this time, the videos that I used to do for my fitness business, my husband would record these, and we'd go through and do 20 takes. And I had to have a script. I had to know exactly what I was going to say word for word. I was so scared of doing this, and you can even look at them. In fact, whenever I upload this, if you want to go to the YouTube channel, go look at some of the earlier T-TAP videos that I've put on there, and you can tell a difference. I didn't feel as good. I also like to think that the large part of that was also Plexus, because Plexus in both ways. Plexus because I was dealing with the leaky gut, and I knew I was dealing with that, but I didn't realize how much that was affecting I didn't understand that brain-gut connection, and how much that was affecting my anxiety, depression, and how badly I felt about the way things were going. But so once I got that cleared up, then other things started clearing up, and then I started taking chances and going out and creating these meetings so that we could get out there and share the information. A year ago, there'd have been no way I could have done this type of meeting. I was not in that place. But so I've expanded that comfort zone to where now it's fine. And do I mean that you have to do these meetings? No, that's not a requirement. It's something I happen to now enjoy. Lori Harrison, I don't think said she did a meeting till she turned sapphire. So it's not a requirement, but you do need to get out and expand that comfort zone so that you are growing. Everything needs to grow. And this also means no whining and complaining. Whining and complaining, for those of you who are parents or teachers, knows that does not get you anywhere. So avoid the whining and the complaining, because it's not solving anything. You've got to think beyond that. If you need somebody to vent to, by all means, have a close friend that you can do that with, a spouse. If it's something that you're frustrated with your business, you want to go upline. We've said that before. If you're feeling down, go up, go to your upline. And if you're feeling up, go down, go to your downline, because you don't want to discourage them. They're looking to you as a leader. So you want to be positive for them. We don't know how things should be. We think we've got to know all the hows in order to get started, and we never know the hows. Some of the most amazing things that have happened to me in this business, I could never have seen coming. There was no way if I'd tried to go out and plan it. You can't do that. You just have to know that things are going to be all right. You don't have to know the how, you just have to trust in the highest and best possible for all involved. And one of the things that that we've been at my church, we've been encouraged when we're praying is, you know, if we're asking for something specific, this or something better and the highest and best for all involved. Because there may be something totally mind-blowing that you didn't even think about. Plexus was not on my radar just 13 months ago. It was not on my radar. It was not something I was looking for, but it has been the hugest blessing to both my health and to my finances. So we're going to take a little experiment. All right, everybody watching, and even those of you who are watching on the recording, I want you to lift up your right arm. Okay? Now, notice how whenever you did that, you lifted up your right arm. You can lower it now. But whenever you lifted up your right arm, did you know how you did that? Do you know all the ins and outs on how you did that? Did you know that, Nikki? Okay. Did you know that there's this signal that it's a split-second thing from whenever I said for you to raise your right arm, that you have this signal that goes through your brain that connects into, you know, I don't know all this stuff. I'm not a scientist. But you didn't have to know the how in order to do that. You don't have to know the how to build a diamond ambassadorship with Plexus in order to start getting going. So it's all about, I don't have to know how, I just have to know. I just have to know that it's possible. And we've seen plenty of people who have gone through. Celeste Gwynn has now paved the way to where we know that it's possible to reach double diamond. We know it's possible to do that. She's paved the way with that. And she stepped out in faith in order to know that she was going to do that. She saw that as a possibility for herself. So you just have to know that it's possible. Again, bringing back in Les Brown. So now that I've gone through the more the motivational, inspirational type tips, I want to spend the last few minutes talking about some practical tips, because everybody has, some people are really motivated by the motivational stuff, and other people like, just tell me what to do. Just tell me what to do. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to tell you what to do. So what can you do to move yourself and your business forward? First of all, be a product of the product. There's our pictures of all of our products, our current products, with the changeover from Fast Relief over to Ease, and then the Mega X, which hopefully will be back very soon. I'm loving it. I'm bought enough to be able to keep taking it even while they were reformulating it, and I'm loving it. So you want to be a product of the product. How can you tell somebody else they need to be taking Plexus if you're not taking it yourself? So be a product of the product. Want you to read something inspirational for 15 minutes a day. And that can be something that can be a personal, inspirational, devotional time that you do, something that's going to give you some feeling that things are possible for you. Two of the ones that I recommend, Les Brown, one of my very favorites to read information from him. You can find his Facebook page. He has some great information on there. Another great one is John Maxwell. John Maxwell has several books. Les has some several books too. I don't think he's got a more recent one. I think there's one in the works. But John Maxwell has several books about being a leader, personal growth, staying motivated. They're very great books that you can find, and they're not very expensive. So I encourage you to read those two, or find something else. Find an author that you find inspirational, that keeps you feeling positive. You need to read something skills related for 15 minutes a day. I'm not asking for you to take hours out of your day. I'm talking about 30 minutes to do something inspirational related and skills related. And a few of the ones that I like, Big Al, love Big Al. He spoke at convention. Les did too, for those of you who weren't at convention. Big Al has, Big Al Tom Schreider, has tons of books that are simply practical, short, easy reads that are, they're really, a lot of them are $5 and under if you have a Kindle device or you have the Kindle app on your phone or your laptop. But they are simply skills related, simple ways to learn how to talk to people and to build relationships. And they're not convoluted, and they work. They work. Every time I've used one of these, they work. And so that's what you want. You want something that works. Another one is Sarah Robbins. Sarah Robbins is the top network marketer of her company, and she's done phenomenal writing, telling about how she went from being a teacher into building this probably close to $1 billion business now, and how she did that. Another one, whoops, that is Danny Johnson, and she's one who's just recently come on my radar of a network marketer, and you can follow her on her page. But she's got a few books on there about how to have some skills around network marketing. And then finally, Eric Worre, and Eric Worre has the GoPro books, network marketing. He has several different TV downloads that you can do. You can get an email from him every day, and lots of videos that he's done. And he's gone from being started out as a shy kid somewhere around 18, 19 years old, and has built a tremendous business and gives back to the network marketing community by helping you by providing those skills. So choose a mentor to follow. With that. That will be very beneficial. Have a daily method of operation. It's called a DMO. Have something planned. If you're as a teacher, we had a daily method of operation. We came into the school, the bell rang. We had the moment of silence. We had the Pledge of Allegiance. We went and called roll. There's a certain way that you do things every day in order to get the tasks accomplished that you need to do. Any job has that. There's a certain way to open up a cash register, open up a store. So you have to have a daily method of operation. You should be sharing Plexus with 2 people a day minimum. Minimum. You can do more than that, but at least minimum 2 new people. And that can be getting in touch with someone and starting to share some ideas about it. Finding out what's going on with people. If you see somebody that posts on Facebook that they're dealing with some health issues, if it's something that Plexus can help, and probably about 95% of the time it is something that Plexus can help, because we've learned that if you can get the blood sugar balance, you can get the gut health going, your body comes back into balance, and those types of things will get your body back healthy. So you want to share with people, and if you have any questions about how to go about doing that, talk with your sponsor or message me, and I'll be happy to give you some ideas about how to go about doing that. You need to follow up with previously interested people, somebody who's may have said, not now, because it wasn't a good time for them, and realize that most people, when they say no is really just a not now. It's a way of saying it's just not the best time for me. You don't know what else is going on in their lives, and people need to take breaks from that every now and then, and that's okay. But just follow up with people. I've done that, and I've been in this long enough to see that people come back around. The other thing that you need to be aware of, and I've shared this in a previous ambassador training, is the average sales statistics. 48%, almost half of salespeople never follow up with a prospect. Never. And particularly if you're talking with someone that you don't already have a relationship with and you may not ever see them again, if you never follow up, they may need Plexus. I'm thoroughly convinced most everybody needs Plexus in some form or another. So, but if you never follow up with them, they're not going to get that. Or somebody else will do that and you won't get them as a customer or potential ambassador. 25% make a second contact and stop. 12% make 3 contacts and stop. Only 10% of people involved in any type of sales make more than 3 contacts. 2% of sales are made on the first contact. 3% of sales are made on the second contact. 5% of sales are made on the third contact. 10% are made on the fourth contact. And 80%, 80%, are made on the 5th to the 12th contact. So some people, they need more time to think or research. Everybody has a different personality. Very few people are just, you probably, I know I didn't, whenever you saw Plexus popped up on somebody's Facebook page, and you saw that, oh, wow, that looks really interesting. I'm going to go order now. No, you did some research. You asked some questions. You may have done some of your own research instead of just asking the person who posted about it. But you did more than just, yes, I'm going to go ahead and do that. We know we need to do that. So you need to realize that you need to follow up. And there's a saying, the fortune is in the follow-up, because that's really where it is. You need to be doing income-producing activity. And a lot of people don't know what income-producing activity is. So I'm going to share with you what it is and what it isn't. What it is making phone calls, calling people to set appointments, to talk with them, following up with people about Plexus. Sending emails, because you can send an email to somebody. We have so many ways of making contacts with people these days. You can send messages. That can be text messaging or Facebook messaging. A lot of people are very busy, and this little tool is very, very handy. Most people, if you call, I've almost would say texting people is a little bit better these days, or Facebook messaging them, because if you call people, most people say, oh, okay, I can talk to them later. So, or they'll wait and see if they are going to, if somebody's going to leave a message. I did that today. Some call came in, I didn't know the number. I let it go to voicemail. Turned out it was a scam thing. So it's like, okay, it was good. I just didn't need to listen. That was a recording. Don't use any type of recording thing when you're calling somebody. Just, be yourself, be a person. Okay. Arranging coffee or lunch dates, and where you're going to talk about Plexus and talk about how things can help with, you can help people. Coffee dates, and then you don't even have to drink coffee. I don't drink coffee. I have this great little coffee shop here in Dickson that I love to go to. They do make really great tea and really great hot chocolate. Not so much into the hot chocolate these days when it's getting 100 degrees today. Following up, as we said, the fortune is in the follow-up. You got to follow up with people. People are busy. People are incredibly busy. You need to make sure that you follow up with people. Facebook or social media posting. That is where you are posting something about Plexus or social media somewhere, Instagram, Pinterest, Twitter, whatever your particular preference is. Doing three-way calls with either your team or your upline, because sometimes people need to hear that third person's perspective. Setting appointments for these exposures, because remember, as we said, those exposures, sometimes it takes 5 to 12 in order to do that. And Eric Worre has a really great technique about how to set up his exposure to exposure. You do not have to sell somebody in the first minute. Okay? And then inviting to or holding events. This is considered income producing activity, is holding events, because we're open to having people come in and learn more about Plexus. What it's not, it is not organizing your desk. While that is very helpful, if you could see my desk, but it's not good. I realize that's not income producing activity. Do I need to do it? Sure. But it's not producing me any income at the moment. So that my focus is producing income, so my desk is less than organized. It is not watching training videos. While those are important and you should be watching those, that is not considered income producing activity, because you're not getting anything, you're not talking with somebody. They are a very beneficial learning tool. Reading personal growth material, that stuff I told you to do about this earlier in the slideshow, that's very beneficial and it is necessary, but it is not income producing activity. Don't fool yourself, it is income producing activity. But it will help you become that better person, so that then you're more comfortable doing the income producing activities, such as setting appointments and calling and talking with people. All right, scrolling through Facebook, it's addictive. You can lose yourself in Facebook very easily. But the occasional scrolling through, but definitely keep up with your friends, keep up with your family, and you can learn some information in there. You can do some screenshots, and I can tell you how to do that later. But it's not going to get you any business. Okay. Participating in Facebook discussion groups. Yes, those are beneficial, but again, it's not income producing activity. Okay, answering questions from other ambassadors. These can be, I see this as somewhat, could be income producing if you're helping an ambassador. I worked with one of mine yesterday, as how to respond. And how to respond to various, a particular question that a potential customer of hers had. So those types of things would be income producing. But just to answer, answering questions, just realize that gets in that borderline area. Leaving your business card anonymously around town. Honestly, guys, I've done it, but it's a chicken way of trying to get business. It's not going to, this is a relationship business. There's a reason why they call it network marketing, is because you're building a network. All right, working with a power partner. I've got a few minutes, so I'm going to try and slide through this one pretty quickly. I encourage you to get a power partner. If you don't have one, if you want some help getting one, let me know. I'm talking to my team. But working with a power partner, because this is very beneficial. that you want to have somebody so that you can establish regular contact. I have a power partner. She's on a totally different team. We're still under the same big team, but she's on a totally different team. But we are about the same level, and we have the same goals. So we work together, and we have contact every month, every other Monday by phone, every Monday at least by Facebook messaging what's going on. We set a time limit. You need to do that because it can easily turn into this long drawn out conversation, and ours have, but we know that we need to watch that because otherwise we're not doing income producing activity. You need to have accountability that's tempered by grace. You want to hold somebody accountable, but understand that this is a growing process, and you're not there to be, no, you should have done 5 posts today. No, you need to understand that you are both helping each other grow. There is no making excuses. Don't try and say, oh, well, I didn't have time to do this, I didn't have time to do that. Take responsibility, own up to it. No complaining or whining. I've mentioned that before. Doesn't do you any good. Use positive language. Be positive with people because, again, like I said, you're helping them grow, they're helping you grow. And please, no drama. Save the drama for someplace else. And these people, or your power partner, should not be your marriage counselor or your guidance counselor or anything like that. They're not there as your psychologist or psychiatrist. They are there to help you give somebody and to help you be accountable. All right, last slide. If you want to be great and successful, choose people who are great and successful and walk side by side with them. You want to have a mentor, somebody that you can talk with who's been where you've been. And you want to get to that point where you outgrow that mentor. Ralph Waldo Emerson, one of my favorite authors, and had some really phenomenal ideas about personal growth and being able to reach your dreams and your goals. So I will open this up for any ambassador or guest discussions. We've got one person who's still online, and we have one of my friends from South Carolina who just came in. I'm so excited to see her. Did we have any questions while we are here and still online? We've got, I think, another couple of minutes before we do that. Okie dokie. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen over here and go ahead and finish up on our meeting. So if you have any questions about this and you are on my team, please reach out to me. I'm happy to help you any way I can. And really, even if you're not on my team, the whole One Plexus idea is that we're here to help you. So please reach out to your upline, your sponsor, reach out to other team members, because the way that we build this is working together. And so I want to thank you for joining us on this Tuesday evening. If you have any questions, please let me know, and I hope you have a wonderful evening. Thank you for being here.